Welcome to another F1 Clash tournament, and today it's all about Series 4. So for all of you that are looking for advice on Series 4, I think today we're going to learn a lot about which drivers you should go with in Series 4 and which drivers are maybe not that good of an idea. And today's lineup is actually randomized for the first time, so this is what I ended up with, and I'm actually really happy with it. So I think there's going to be a lot of interesting duels today, and in this lineup you'll find every Series 4 driver and 3 drivers from prior series that I think we all consider when racing in Series 4. So that's the mission for today, but before we head to the first race, you all know what's coming.
What are we driving?
So, as always, I also want to show you what car we're going to be racing today, because while the drivers are important, you also want the car setup to be right. So when looking at the car, Series 4 is about some different stats, primarily speed. So we got 2 speed tracks, and then we have 1 cornering and 1 power unit track. So if you're unsure what components to use in Series 4, this is what I raced with in Series 4, and it worked great for me, so this is what I would recommend you go with. In Series 4, we of course unlock the very powerful DRS rear wing. So as soon as you unlock that, definitely put it in. It's super powerful even at level 1. And of course we also unlock this engine, which is also a big upgrade to prior parts. So this is what we're going to be racing with today. And now let's get into the first race. Okay, the first race takes place at Las Vegas, and we're starting with an absolute banger of a race if you ask me, and it's the epic version of Jack Doohan against the rare version of Bortoleto. So the best driver from Series 4, I think, at least the only epic driver, and then the best driver from Series 1. So let's have a look at tire strategy. Okay, they can both do a one-stop strategy with which I think is quickest at Las Vegas. So we're both going on the hard. I'm not going to boost any drivers today just because why add that unnecessary variable? So since they're both on the one-stop, it is going to be decided by the first pit stop, probably which driver wins. So actually quite similar qualifying. Doohan with a better start, good start. At least that's what it said, but Bortoleto... Oh, it's very, very close, very close. Bortoleto is in front. Wow, the Series 1 driver is in front of the Series 4 driver. Although he had just an average race start. Very interesting. So... yeah, as always with these tournaments, I want to be pretty fair with both these drivers, so I am going to push them at similar times or similar places. I want to keep the tire strategy fair. Of course, if one driver has a lot better tire strategy, tire management, then it's a bit difficult, or then it's more nuanced. You have to just pick what's best for the driver. For each driver, I want to do what's best for that particular driver and give each driver a fair chance at winning. So they're still very close to each other, and yeah, I'm really interested for this duel because Jack Doohan, as I said, the only epic driver in Series 4, so you would think that he's pretty good in Series 4. Well, now we have DRS, and I pushed both of them just to keep it fair. Tire management is also very similar. I'm not going to use DRS yet here, but of course this is also going to be interesting when both of them use DRS. Oh, Doohan actually losing a spot. Okay, so while I think this duel is going to be really interesting, or is already interesting, because I did actually not expect Bortoleto to be in front of him. That would be crazy if we lose Jack Doohan in the first race. What? But it is looking like it. Oh, now maybe he has a chance. Okay, so using DRS now on both of them. I'm going to push them into the first corner. So... okay, let's wait and see what happens here. Jack Doohan only has one more lap to do the overtake, and I don't think he's gonna do it, which is crazy. So, I have to add one thing, and that's the level of these two drivers. Well, yeah, both are gonna pit this lap. So, I do want to add that I do not have both these drivers on the same level, which you could say that's unfair, right? And you know what? It's a valid argument. But here's why I think it's actually good, because Bortoleto, we have him already in Series 1. Ooh, can Jack Doohan do something now? We have Bortoleto in Series 1, so my Bortoleto is level 8, and my ooh, he goes ahead! He goes ahead! Oh my god, that was just the nick of time. Okay, and we got a safety car. Okay. But I don't think Bortoleto could have done that overtake. Man, I can't even explain the level concept. Okay, so both pitting this lap behind the safety car, but that means they're going to be really close, and maybe Bortoletto isn't going to lose that much time through the pit stop, so maybe this isn't over. Maybe Bortoletto still has a chance. Okay, so what I was saying, my Bortoletto is level 8, and my Jack Doohan is level 4. And while I want to try and keep the levels fair, so all my common drivers in this tournament are all at the same level, in this case level 5. But I can't upgrade my Bortoletto, and also when we're racing with him, you're only unlocking Jack Doohan in Series 4, so odds are you're also going to have them at a lower level than Bortoletto. Is it going to be level 8 and level 4? Probably not, but it could be something like your Bortoletto is level 5, and your Jack Doohan maybe level 2 or level 3. And at these levels, when Bortoletto is leveled higher, his overtaking is actually slightly better, and Series 4 is all about overtaking. So, that's what I wanted to explain about this duel, and now let's have a look here. Okay, so safety car is out, Bortoletto is only in 7th and Doohan in 5th, so this could get very exciting towards the end. Maybe Bortoletto, with his overtaking stat, can have another crack at it, but I'm going to fast forward until the safety car ends. Okay, so safety car should end any second. I'm already putting them on medium. Bortoletto isn't far behind. I'm getting ready to push both of them. There you go. Both are pushing. Let's see if Bortoletto can overtake Leclerc. He would have a very good shot at also getting Doohan. Can he do it? Can he do it? He does have better overtaking. Doohan, great defense, keeps position 5. Bortoletto can't do the overtake. Okay, stop pushing now. But of course now they have a lot of energy and tires, so... Oh, Bortoletto actually losing a position. Oh, that could have been fatal. Maybe that's a bit extreme, but that could have been the end of his chance at this victory. And by the way, with the safety car, it would have probably been more advantageous, more clever to go on the medium tire, but this tournament isn't about beating my rival. My rival is really, he doesn't matter at all. In this tournament, it's all about the two drivers, giving both of them a fair shot at the victory. And right now, Bortoletto couldn't really... He gained 1 position, but Jack Doohan gained even more positions. So, yeah, I think this is going to be a victory for Jack Doohan. Okay, the final straight. Both of them have DRS one more time, so I don't think Bortoletto is going to do it. Pushing both of them now. What? Bortoletto getting really close. Holy moly. Man, this was way closer than I would have thought. But Jack Doohan takes the victory. And I'm happy about that, because I want to see Jack Doohan in more of the races in this tournament. And I actually beat my rival. Hey, that's awesome. But not the goal. So I'm really happy about that. Want to see Jack Doohan in more of the races in this tournament, because I also didn't race with Bortoletto in Series 4, and it wouldn't be the driver that I would recommend you go with. So I'm not surprised that he lost, but still, very close. But in this duel, Bortoletto takes the victory and moves on to the next round of the tournament. Okay, and in this duel, qualifying is going to be a very important part of it, because the only stat Leclerc is better at than Hadjar is qualifying. So let's see what kind of a gap he gets. Okay, Leclerc heads to P1 and Hadjar to P8. So okay, Leclerc, he used his advantage. He is in front of him. Now let's see here. Oh, there's going to be with a bit of rain. Let's hope that doesn't impact it too much. Oh, in Series 4 with these drivers you can't do a one-stop. That's crap. Okay. So I'm gonna do like medium, soft, something, no, soft, medium. Okay, but that's good, so no risk of a double stack here. And I think it's all gonna be decided in the first lap, basically. Let's see what kind of a race start Hadjar gets. Hadjar was a slow one, Leclerc average. That's interesting, Leclerc has a worse race start stat than Hadjar, but whatever, okay. So let's see how it actually plays out. Leclerc losing a couple of positions down to P3. That's not good for Leclerc. Hadjar didn't gain anything, doesn't lose anything. Let's see. Leclerc is of course on the soft tire, so that is a slight advantage, but Hadjar is not being held back by the mediums. Okay, I'm going to stop pushing both of them. So Hadjar P6, Leclerc P2. Okay, so it wasn't decided in the first lap. It's going to be a bit of a longer duel. Let's see. I'm very confident that Hadjar will catch him. I think Hadjar is a strong candidate in Series 4 with his great overtaking stat. So I would be very surprised if Leclerc takes the lead, but let's see how it plays out. Okay, Hadjar heading into the pits. Leclerc is now in P7, and now let's take a look at where they end up once Hadjar exits the pits. Hadjar now on soft. Oh, and that's very close. Yeah, I know it's gonna rain. Yeah, I'm just gonna ignore that. It's too late. I don't think that influences the duel. So I'm gonna push both of them, but yeah, Hadjar did the overtake for the first time this race. He did it on track. They both had the same tire strategy, just in a different order. And Hadjar, I think, emerges victorious. He's now on the softs. I think he is the better driver in Series 4, so I'd be very surprised if Leclerc starts to gain on him. And to be honest, it's the last lap. Even if this weren't a duel or tournament video, I wouldn't pit now. I don't think that makes sense. The rain is just about to start now. Or, yeah, about to start in a couple of seconds. And I don't think that would have made sense to go on the wet tires. Leclerc has a bit more energy, so I'm going to push him. Hope he doesn't run out of tires, actually. But yeah, looks like Hadjar is going to take the victory here. In the rain for the last couple of corners. Who would have thought? But hey, that works. He did the overtake in the dry, so I think there's no controversy there. They're both slow now. Yeah. And very slowly, they're now both going to cross the start-finish line. Hadjar, can he take P1? No, but P2 for Hadjar. Leclerc and now also ran out of tires. But anyway, that means in this duel, Hadjar takes the victory as I would have expected, but still Leclerc held up better than I thought. So now let's head to the next race. Okay, and this next duel takes place between Oliver Bearman and Carlos Sainz. And let's be honest, I think this is going to be an easy victory for Bearman. Carlos is in F1 Clash a great defensive driver, but yeah, Bearman is better at everything else, especially at overtaking, which is the most important stat in Series 4. And his qualifying is also better, race start is better, and we can already see how this is probably going to play out. They're going to be on the same tire strategy, no risk of a double stack, and yeah, I personally, Carlos is going to be great in later series where it's all about defense. In Series 4, I actually raced with Oliver Bearman, so I think he's going to have very high chances for winning this entire tournament. Although he already won Series 3, but hey, I think he's also great in Series 4. But we'll see if he actually wins. For now, I think this first duel against the common version of Carlos Sainz is going to be easy for him, and that's how it's looking so far. But let's see how it plays out. Okay, and we're on the last lap, and if you're wondering why Bearman is in P8, we had a safety car along the way. I tried to keep it as fair as possible between the two drivers. I think I did the best I could, but Bearman was leading with a huge margin the entire time. And after the safety car, he was in P18, and just in those 2 laps, fought his way back up to P7. So yeah, Bearman is across the finish line, way in front of Carlos. Who can now maybe? Ah, what a shame. Okay. Bit weird with the safety car. If it would have been really close between the two, I would have done this again, but I think we saw very clearly Bearman is better. So in this duel, Bearman emerges victorious and, as expected, heads to the next round of this tournament. Okay, race number 4, the last race of the first stage of this tournament, is for a change between 2 common drivers, Piastri and Gasly. And wow, Piastri has a great race start. My money is on Piastri. Honestly, I didn't race with either of these in Series 4. If I would have to pick one, I would have raced with Piastri because his overtaking stat is actually pretty good. And that's why I think what we're seeing right here on screen. Interesting thing though, or that's why I didn't go with Piastri, his tire management is pretty terrible. Yeah, so this is going to be the thing. Because of that, Gasly can do a one-stop at Las Vegas, which I think is the quicker strategy. Piastri isn't good enough. He can't do a one-stop. Even on the hard tires, he can only do 2 laps. So maybe that will, across the race, be the advantage for Gasly. It's kind of like overtaking versus tire management is what we're going to be seeing right here. giving both of them a fair shot. My money's on Piastri, but we'll see what happens. Alright, Piastri now doing his second and now last pit stop. He's now back down to P2. He was in P1, and let's see where Gasly is going to be once Piastri exits the pits. Oh, I don't think this is looking good for Gasly. Yeah, there Piastri is. Okay, so even after his 2 pit stops, which I think is the worst strategy at Las Vegas, Piastri, he doesn't even need to do the overtake. He's now in front of him with medium tires, so I think Piastri is going to bring this home. Okay, and we're on the final straight, and Piastri is going to use DRS one more time, and now Gasly is as well. So you can see, it's close. It's not like Piastri has a huge gap on him, but even with a better tire management and better tire strategy, it couldn't save Gasly. The better overtaking stat, I guess it's just more important. So Piastri crossing over the finish line in P3, Gasly P7. So yeah, the 2 common drivers, out of these 2 common drivers, Piastri emerges victorious, and that means we now have the final lineup for stage 2 of this tournament, and that's Jack Doohan, Isaac Hadjar, Oliver Behrman, and Oscar Piastri. Okay guys, and the first duel in the second round of this tournament is a duel that I was very much looking forward to. It's Jack Doohan versus Isaac Hadjar. I think 2 drivers where many of us asked themselves, which driver should we go with in Series 4? Let's see here, P4, P8. Oh, tire strategy is difficult here. If I put them both on soft, that means it would have to be decided in the first 3 laps, and I don't think that's fair for Hadjar. So the only alternative I have is to put one of them on the hard. So I think since Jack Doohan qualified in front, it's only fair to give him the best strategy, and then Hadjar, it's going to be hard. But I think that's the only way Hadjar will at least have a fighting chance. So let's see how this plays out. Hadjar against Jack Doohan. Doohan with the average start, Hadjar slow. Okay, that does not help with the hard tires. Pushing through these first couple corners, Doohan, I'm expecting a couple overtakes here because he has the soft tire and is on the better strategy. So if... Wow, what? How did Hadjar get to P5? I mean, Hadjar... I actually went with Hadjar in Series 4 because while he is the worst driver overall, like Jack Doohan has way better average stats, but Hadjar does have the better overtaking stat, and that is all what Series 4 is about. So I actually went with him. But, yeah, that doesn't mean that he needs to win in this tournament. Like, maybe that was wrong of me to go with Isaac Hadjar. He's now... Why is he now down to P9 again? What is going on? Okay. So, pushing both of them through these corner sections. What's happening with Hadjar? What? I mean, yes, he's on a hard tire, but... Anyway. Okay, first 3 laps are done. That means Jack Doohan is going to head into the pits. Next lap, Hadjar can do another lap, and then I'll put him on the soft, and then he'll lose his disadvantage. So Hadjar needs to make up that time throughout the rest of the race. Okay, so Doohan currently in P6 is now going to do his second and last pit stop, and I think Hadjar got a lot closer. So yeah, now Hadjar is going to overtake him. But of course, Hadjar still needs to do his pit stop, so it will be a very close finish. Let's see if Hadjar can do some overtakes here. That would be really important for him. Okay, so he's up to P5. The distance to Doohan is pretty big. So actually, you know what? I'm not going to cut. I'm going to keep this rolling. Let's see. Doohan, I'm going to push through these corners. I'm going to push again with Hadjar. Okay. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh my god, I almost messed that up. Hadjar now pitting. Okay, Doohan has DRS for this straight. And for sure he's going to overtake him, right? Yeah, Doohan does the overtake. But there's no car. There's going to be one car between them. No, there's no car between them. Okay, so Doohan, P7, Hadjar, P8. They both have the same amount of energy. None of them needs to pay attention to tire deg. So may the quicker driver win. Yeah, let's see. Hadjar needs to... Oh, he's getting really close. He's getting close. And the last lap is starting. Okay, I'm not going to cut away. Let's use DRS here with Hadjar. But Doohan now has DRS, so I don't think Hadjar is going to do it. I think Jack Doohan is gonna win. Oof. Man, what a close duel. And yeah, really difficult. It makes sense that this is so close. He's right behind him. They're both on medium now. Maybe Hadger can last corner, basically. No. Okay, so Doohan emerges victorious. Right? Yeah, you can. Both of them can push. Okay. That was really close. Difficult to keep it fair on that track, to kind of have to avoid the double stack. But, you know, Jack Doohan has way better tire management that he couldn't really use in this case. So we saw that Hadjar was quicker. And if they would both, like if I would have given Jack Doohan the hard tire and Hadjar the soft tire, I think Hadjar would have won. So really difficult to make the call here. I think because Jack Doohan qualified better and was in front, it was fair to give him the better tire strategy. But yeah, you saw how close it is, so I think both these drivers are valid for Series 4, but in this tournament, Jack Doohan wins and emerges victorious and moves on to the final round of this event. Okay, and the next race takes place between Behrman and Piastri, and it's, yeah, turned out to be a rain race, so not much I can do there with tire strategy. Oh, wow! I just wanted to say it's probably going to be an easy victory for Behrman, but then Piastri looked really good at the start, is still looking good. Okay, okay. Piastri, who would have thought? Okay, so Behrman up to P2, Piastri P4. We'll stop pushing them now. Okay, now Piastri up to P3. Okay, maybe this is going to be closer than I thought, but my money is on Behrman. I think, yeah, as I said, I think he's a strong contender to actually win this tournament. So I think there's going to be an easy victory, but I'll keep you posted how this duel plays out between them. Okay, last lap. Both had the exact same tire strategy. Both did a two-stop with the wet tires, and it's a lot closer than I would have thought. But to be honest, Behrman had the disadvantage of being in P1 for most of the race, meaning he couldn't use DRS, which is also why I'm not pushing right now, that he can still use DRS. Because else Piastri would have maybe had a chance, but now I can use DRS with both of them, and that means I'm actually going to finish P1 and P2. But yeah, although Behrman could almost never use DRS in this race, he still won it fair and square, even with a slight disadvantage. And yeah, as expected, in this duel, Behrman emerges victorious. So that means we're now heading to the final round of this tournament, and it's between Jack Doohan and Oliver Behrman. Okay, now it's time for the final race to see who gets crowned the Series 4 champion, pushing both of them. Doohan with a slow start, Behrman with a fast start. Okay, I think that's basically almost a decision, to be honest. Okay, let's see. I mean, that's what it said, but it looks like it's also playing out like that. Doohan losing so many positions, having like the worst start of this entire event, or this entire tournament. Okay, stop pushing them now. Okay, so I wanted to say that this could be another interesting duel. I mean, they are the two guys that made it to the final round, and they have great stats, but yeah, my money is on Oliver Behrman just because it's basically a similar duel than what we had with Isaac Hadjar against Doohan, just that Behrman is just a better Isaac Hadjar for Series 4. He still has an amazing overtaking stat, and but with that also come better tire management, better qualifying, better race start. So yeah, we saw how close it was between Doohan and Isaac Hadjar, so if Behrman is even better than Isaac Hadjar, which we also saw in the last tournament where Isaac Hadjar and Behrman dueled it out, I would have been surprised, or I would be surprised if Behrman doesn't win this. But Doohan is performing terribly. Like, if he would have performed like that, I think even Hadjar could have won against him. But, you know, that's what happened. He can do some overtakes here with DRS. And that's although Doohan is on the medium tire, so I would have expected more. But yeah, tire strategy is perfect at Shanghai for a duel like this, because they're both on the same tire strategy with, yeah, 4 laps on the hard, and then 3 laps on the medium. That means it's just a different order so that we don't have a risk of a double stack. But yeah, it's looking like Behrman is going to win this actually pretty easily. All right, last lap, and Behrman is in the last couple corners, now actually on the last long straight. And maybe he can even go to P1. I'm going to actually just push here. Oh, there you go. Even to P1. And Doohan is nowhere to be seen. So Behrman finishes P1. Doohan, oh, used DRS slightly too early. But I don't know what happened to Doohan in this race. Like, even Piastri got closer to Behrman at Shanghai. Like, sure, that was a wet race, but yeah, not even close. Doohan coming home in P8, although they were on the exact same tire strategy. So yeah, very easy victory for Oliver Behrman. So as I expected, Oliver Behrman wins this duel and gets crowned the Series 4 champion. Alright, so now we know how the Series 4 tournament played out. But before you know, I'll head into F1 Clash and go with Oliver Behrman and Jack Doohan as your second driver. I want to give you some advice that I think you should consider in Series 4 that goes beyond what we can test in a tournament like this. And that's the reason why I think, even now, knowing how this tournament played out, I would still go with Oliver Behrman as your number 1 driver. Like, that's pretty obvious, that's a no-brainer. But then I would go with Isaac Hadjar as my number 2 driver. And here's why. So first of all, we saw how close it was between Isaac Hadjar and Jack Doohan. Like, if I would have just switched up the tire strategy, Isaac Hadjar could have also won. But even if we say that Jack Doohan is quicker in Series 4, if you're looking to spend your coins as efficiently as possible, I don't think it's worth it to spend the coins on upgrading Jack Doohan, because Isaac Hadjar will be perfectly fine in Series 4. And then if we look further ahead to Series 5, that series is all about race start. And there Jack Doohan is probably not going to be very good. So then you're going to have a different number 2 driver. So I don't really think it's worth it to upgrade him. And I would go with Oliver Behrman and Isaac Hadjar in Series 4. And then in Series 5, you're going to have a different number 2 driver. At least that's what I would say right now. We'll find more out about that in the Series 5 tournament. So stay tuned for that. For now, I hope you enjoyed it. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Wolaceum out.